Right now on the National Weather Desk, we're watching for severe storms in the Midwest and a possible tropical storm in the Caribbean. And an unexpected snowstorm catches some people in Utah off guard.
We have spring one day and fall the next.
Are you ready to fall back this weekend? Do you think it's time to stop changing our clocks twice a year?
It has major public health implications surrounding sleep.
See how the ongoing drought is affecting people in multiple states.
It's adding up to one of the driest and warmest Octobers on record.
There was plenty of rain for this year's apple season in New England.
Record rainfall to start 2024 in Rhode Island caused some challenges for apple orchards.
And have you ever seen a cloud waterfall?
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Well, good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Janae Bowens. For the first time in quite some time, part of the country is looking at a risk of severe weather. In all, 37 million people are under some kind of threat. A 3 out of 5 threat is up for the area in orange, including Kansas City and Topeka. The severe thunderstorms will be capable of producing large hail, damaging wind gusts, and a few tornadoes. The area in yellow has a 2 out of 5 threat, including Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa. And tracking the tropics, we continue to monitor a disturbance in the Caribbean. It's located between Jamaica and South America. Not much has changed since yesterday. It still has a 40% chance of becoming a named storm in the next week. If that happens, it will be given the name Patty. Now, Election Day is 6 days from now, and turnout will likely decide who will win, and that's why the weather could play a major role. As of right now, the forecast calls for a large swath of rain to fall from Texas to Michigan and southern Wisconsin. Those last two are battleground states. Rain is also in the forecast in New York and parts of New England. Keep in mind, this forecast is likely to change, and we'll stay on top of it. Now, Utah residents returned to winter driving on Tuesday as a winter storm brought snow to the state. Ariel Harrison shows us what it was like.
You could feel it pulling your car.
Vonna Johnson drove into work early Tuesday morning when snow was both flying and sticking in southern Utah County.
So you had to unpack your winter driving skills. What was that like?
It's great because I have a Jeep, and it makes it really easy.
Even though her commute was uneventful, Johnson admits the stark change in weather can be surprising, especially on the roads.
Because we never know. We have spring one day and fall the next, and who knows, we might have summer tomorrow.
What's the feeling across UDOT?
It's go time.
Wyatt Woolley is a UDOT spokesman in Region 3. He said crews are out, especially in the mountain passes. They had a close call, though, on US 6 with one of their snowplows.
One of the guys that passed him realized there was a bunch of snow and stuff in front of him, so he immediately slowed down, which our plow cannot slow down immediately behind him. And so he clipped his wing, is what we call it, that reaches out from the plow.
He said while both drivers are okay with minimal damage to the plow and other vehicle, things could have been a lot worse.
Now, snow fell where the Yellow Lake fire is still burning in the Utah mountains. Will it be enough to put out the flames? Right now, it's just 66% contained. Brian Schnee spoke with the U.S. Forest Service to find out.
This fire has been difficult to suppress and has caused a lot of extra hours and time for our crews to be up here, an unseasonably late season this year. We knew snow would be the thing we needed to help put this fire out. The snow last week helped. The snow this week is helping. We will likely see an increase of containment probably by the end of this weekend as another storm rolls in. And as we saw with the last storm, fire does not just get put out by snow. It helps. It cools the area. It wets the area. But some of the common misconceptions is that it just puts it out. We get a lot of calls from local residents and hunters thinking that because they can't see smoke and flames anymore from the road, that there's no longer fire. And one of the things we were seeing in the last storm is that even with active snow like we're seeing right now, we were still seeing trees torch and creeping and smoldering in the logs. So something we really trying to impress upon the public is the snow is wonderful. We need it. We need more of it. And it will take a couple more of these storms to actually gain full containment.
So this one right here, even though the backdrop looks beautiful and it's what you're hoping for, you're not calling this one perhaps your season-ending event, at least for this fire. Is that right?
Not likely. There's going to be snippets of warmer weather in between the storms. A season-ending event needs to be enough snow that it stays on the ground and lasts throughout the winter.
Now, snow will soon be falling in other places across the country, and those communities want to make sure their plow fleets are up to par. Kayleen McGee spoke to an engineer to find out how Missouri is getting ready for the first snowfall of the year.
Say it ain't snow, but the snow season is just around the corner in the heartland. The Missouri Department of Transportation has been working hard to prepare for the upcoming winter storms. Engineers and drivers have been testing equipment, checking supplies, and training to prepare for the first snowfall. When snow and ice are in the forecast, engineers are hoping to treat the roads before it comes in. But if rain comes in first, it could make things difficult.
If the storm comes in as rain, there's not always a lot we can do to pre-treat. But if we know it's going to be cold, there's times that we can get out. We can put some chemicals on the road that help keep it from freezing. But like I said, if the storm comes in as rain, it's going to wash that off and not really do us much good.
One problem that MoDOT is seeing this year is open positions across the state for snowplow drivers. That's why if a storm is approaching, some drivers might be pulled in from outside the area to help meet the need.
Typically, we don't have a storm that involves the entire state to the same degree. So we can shift resources across the district and we can shift resources across the state so that we can really focus on those areas that we know are going to be hit harder. And we do that for every storm.
Once the snowfall starts, plows and trucks will start going out, cleaning and treating the roads. Crews will look to get to as many roads as possible, but the main highways will get treated first. MoDOT engineers say that once a storm is in, they'll immediately start communicating with other areas and states. That way, they are prepared for the storm and do their part to help other areas be ready.
Kansas or Nebraska, and we're going to keep those informed that are going to get that storm after us as well to help them prepare. But we also communicate across the state with our individuals, so all of these resources can be best utilized when that winter weather does happen.
Now, this is the weekend we fall back, turning our clocks back 1 hour as we return to standard time. In recent years, more people are calling for the country to stop changing our clocks twice a year and stick to either standard or daylight saving time year round. Jackie Kent has more.
It kind of, I feel like, messes up like my whole routine system.
It gets super dark at night and I have to walk back to class and it's super dark and it's like kind of scary.
But a UW professor argues there are benefits to standard time, including a brighter morning commute and improved mood.
The issue of what clock we follow has major public health implications surrounding sleep.
Dr. Vishesh Kapoor is the medical director of UW's Medicine Sleep Center. He's among the specialists urging congressional staffers to do away with daylight saving time.
It's better for that light to be earlier in the morning because that's what wakes us up. It's what sets our body's rhythms and allows us to fall asleep faster at nighttime.
Many people agree they do not like switching their clocks twice a year, whether they are springing forward or falling back. But the main argument appears to be whether permanent standard time is the answer.
And I think it would make it easier to wake up earlier.
And we should, I agree with the sleep researchers, stop the biannual clock switch. But by moving to permanent daylight saving time, not standard.
UW Law professor Steve Calandrio argues daylight saving time is safer for drivers, pedestrians, and the environment.
Where is sunlight more important, in the evening or in the morning? And it's more important in the evening because it saves lives, it helps reduce crime, it saves energy.
Check out video captured yesterday on a dash cam of a wildfire burning in Edmond, Oklahoma. It's one of several burning in the state. Smoke clouded I-35 and officials were forced to close part of the highway. Firefighters say wind gusts near 50 miles per hour were helping to fuel those flames. And check out this time lapse of a cloud waterfall rolling over the mountains. This was sent to us by a viewer in eastern Tennessee. As the National Weather Service writes, the waterfall effect is caused by fog being transported up and over higher terrain. It's so cold inside the fog, it doesn't have enough time to warm up and dry out the cloud on the downslope. Now, we would love to share your weather photos on air. Share them with us by clicking the Chime In tab on this station's website. And for more great weather content, be sure to check us out on social media. You can find us on all of your favorite platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, it's been a record year for drought in West Virginia. We'll find out what officials are doing to reduce wildfire risk in the state. And we'll look at what you can do now to make sure your car is ready for the winter months ahead.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. Big temperature swings continue to be the big story in the Northeast this week. We had a warm front move through overnight. The back edge of the showers are exiting 2 o'clock this afternoon. We have developing sun for most of the Northeast, and look at the temperatures respond back into 70s. The warmest day of the stretch still looks to be Halloween. Temps will be in the mid to upper 70s. The prime trick-or-treat hours, we should be in the low 70s. This cold front could bring a shower early on Friday.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. Your Wednesday and your Thursday are looking bone dry. We're not going to see any more rainfall for at least the next couple of days, but a cold front is approaching and it could bring us a chance for shower, but not until Friday. So we are warm as we make our way through your Wednesday. Highs in the upper 70s, low 70s in the mountains, and we'll see similar conditions even for your Thursday, starting out in the 50s, but will likely top out near 80 degrees.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl. High temperatures this afternoon are going to be in the upper 70s, low 80s for the most part. A few areas rising into the upper and mid 80s. We are going to see a few isolated passing showers throughout your morning, especially along the Florida Peninsula. In the afternoon, we'll see more showers develop in our inland areas, Alabama and Mississippi expecting some of those scattered showers. We're tracking a frontal boundary that will start to approach Wednesday overnight into Thursday.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A splendid sunrise near Little Rock features purple-hued clouds, no rain, but plenty of rich shades, and fall color in the Ozarks with a spooky season look thanks to steam fog, which forms when cold air mixes with moist air over warm water, cooling it down until it reaches full humidity, resulting in fog like this.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on Instagram.
With only 2 days to go in October is looking to be one of the hottest and driest on record in America. Now, rain from Hurricane Helene helped the drought in West Virginia, but there are fears the dry summer will lead to forest fires in November. Bob Aaron has more.
November arrives Friday, and it looks like our sunny and very dry October may end up being the second or third driest October on record in parts of West Virginia. Last Thursday's drought monitor showed 80% of the lower 48 states dealing with abnormal dryness or some degree of drought. Rains from Hurricane Milton eased tinderbox conditions for forest fires in West Virginia, but it's drying out again in a year that's seen more than 400 forest fires.
Without that rain, we were at the point where if it continued in that situation, we were going to need help from outside the Division of Forestry, which probably would have meant the National Guard.
It's the kind of pleasant October day you'd ask for, but cumulatively, it's adding up to one of the driest and warmest Octobers on record, and that can bring some problems.
When the leaves completely fall off the trees, that's when you get direct sunlight on the forest floor, and when the sunlight hits the forest floor continuously without rain, the leaves dry out very quickly. When those leaves on the ground dry out very quickly, then they burn very quickly.
The drought conditions have also impacted West Virginia agriculture. And West Virginia is doing better than several U.S. cities with roughly 150 years of weather data, where October is likely to be the first month on record without any precipitation at all.
Now, dead grass, dried up streams, and a high fire danger are becoming more and more common in Maine as well. Meteorologist Ryan Muntz spoke to officials from the local Forest Service about a new machine they are using to help fight wildfires.
This is a portable pump that a lot of us have in our trucks, and it can draw water into the tank
and then the tank can be transported by forestry equipment. And we also have a hose reel here where we can use this to get to the water.
This machine helps forest rangers fight fires in remote areas, and this is how they transport it.
So this is how you'd start it. It'd be, you'd pull this up here. And it's pretty small, but it's pretty powerful, and you can put out a lot of fire with this pump and the 400 gallons that are available in the tank.
Forest Ranger Specialist Kent Nelson says to be careful when it comes to campfires because they can sometimes lead to wildfires.
And the number one cause is escape debris and campfires. So my recommendation that if someone does have a campfire during these dry conditions, that they really make sure it's completely out before they leave the area. Put the water, stir the coals, and make sure several times that there's nothing smoldering.
With the dry weather expected to continue, the fire risk will likely remain high for areas in yellow and moderate elsewhere.
Yeah, throughout parts of the state, we're at high fire danger. Some are at moderate, but how dry it's been, and with the uptick in winds and warm temperatures, it's a recipe for fire.
Now, as we celebrate Halloween tomorrow, many places, including southern New England, will also mark the end of their apple season. And as with most harvests, the weather can impact the quality of the fruit. Meteorologist Nick Rousseau looks at the crop in Rhode Island.
The Barden family in North Scituate has grown apples for almost 100 years. The orchard began in 1930. Generations of Bardens have managed the stand of trees through heat, cold, storms, and in 2024, a lot of rain.
Apple scab is a big issue. When it rains, it's constantly just dousing the fruit with wetness, and all of those conditions cause the fungus to just spread and spread and spread.
Record rainfall to start 2024 in Rhode Island caused some challenges for apple orchards, but despite those issues, they still produce some great apples.
It's great for growth, so the apples are pretty good size. Last year, we lost a lot to freeze, maybe 40 or 50%.
Nearly half the crop lost to a freeze in May 2023. Customers glad to see the orchard's legacy lives on.
It's beautiful here. So many delicious apples, lots to pick from. Hazel's finally tall enough that she can actually pick her own.
Here at Barden's, the fruit is expected to hold out until early November.
Until we get 3 23-degree nights. That usually takes the apples.
Barden does remember an unseasonably warm fall in 2004 when picking continued into December, perhaps a sign of our changing climate. But don't count on that happening this year.
The Department of Natural Resources gathers fish population and other data across the Great Lakes. Now, soon the Research Center in Michigan will have a new and improved boat to help gather that information. Meteorologist Trevor Robideau gives us an up-close look at the new vessel.
For over 55 years, this DNR vessel in Charlevoix, the SV Steelhead, has seen a lot of action. With a full crew of researchers, technicians, and fish biologists, this vessel takes to the Great Lakes every year to survey fish populations and complete research for a variety of different partners.
Our data is used to inform stocking decisions for Chinook, coho, sometimes lake trout, brown trout, steelhead, possibly regulations like a size limit or a possession limit. And those have changed throughout the years for certain species like lake trout to try to stay within harvest limits.
To do so, this vessel is equipped with loads of electronics and equipment used to bring in fish or assess the numbers of fish and determine the different species being sampled. But after more than 5 decades of service, this vessel is outdated. Parts are too hard to come by and repairs are more frequently required.
Not only are the engine types they're not being made, but the parts to maintain them are no longer available.
So, in cooperation with local Moran Ironworks based in Michigan, a new vessel with standardized equipment and a few notable upgrades will be made.
We're planning on putting in a seakeeper, which is an instrument that's used to counter the effects of the wave energy, so the boat won't be as tippy. So hopefully it'll be a safer, steadier platform. What we're envisioning is this is going to allow us to get out in the field more often.
The new vessel will also include solar panels and standardized gear while being more fuel efficient, allowing the DNR to take to the Great Lakes more frequently.
One of the things we're all looking forward to is several years of smooth operation and not having to deal with some of those repairs that come with an old vessel.
And as we head to break, we take in views above a pumpkin patch in northern Michigan.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. We've got scattered showers and thunderstorms moving their way across the Midwest as we go through the day today. And for Halloween, that will continue moving its way into the Great Lakes in the Ohio Valley area. It's going to cool down behind that. Look at that, highs around 50 there in the Dakotas for Thursday. Sunshine starting to come back out a little bit more on Friday, but definitely cool for most of the Midwest.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm meteorologist Joe DiCarlo. Look at your forecast across the region, and the big threat today is severe weather with our next cold for an isolated severe storm as far south as Austin, but the big bullseye is from DFW Metroplex into Oklahoma City up towards Tulsa, where we do have a slight and an enhanced risk of severe weather. That's later this evening for strong to severe storms. All modes of severe weather possible with the front that moves in, and it will be moving south with a line of storms as we head into your Halloween.
Well, hi there, everybody, and a good Wednesday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, it's getting cooler. We're continuing to balance out all of the heat sitting over the Mississippi River Valley. Look at Denver just at 42 with some snow. Up in the high country of the Rockies today, and Phoenix finally cooling down to a reasonable 76. We've got a big front coming into the Pacific Northwest that's going to make for a wet and windy day up and down the I-5 corridor. And that's the scene from here.
Sunny and very dry October.
Now, as we get closer and closer to winter, it's time to start thinking about cold weather driving and the hazards that come with it. Meteorologist Grayson Freund spoke to officials in Iowa about tips on how to prepare for the ice months ahead.
Like our sunny and very dry October may end up being the second or third driest October on record in parts of West Virginia. Last Thursday's drought monitor showed 80% of the lower 48 states dealing with abnormal dryness or some degree of drought. Rains from Hurricane Milton east.
had an issue with that last video, and we'll bring you those winter driving tips tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Janae Bowens. Make it a great Wednesday. I'll see you back here tomorrow.